commentaries discuss this anomaly, and they explain as follows. The word Vayikra doesn't mean just "and he called." It's, by the way, describing the Almighty beckoning or calling to Moses. It shows a certain familiarity, closeness, dearness, even a love, this type of calling. And he called. Moses, who knew exactly who he was, knew exactly how essential his role was, how important he was as a leader of the Jewish people, how he was the conduit to bring the Torah from Shemayim, from the heavens, down to the world, down to the earth, who's changed the course of human history. The teachings of the Torah have influenced the entire world, given new meaning to morals and ethics. He wrote it. He was embarrassed by the closeness. He was humbled by the closeness that Hashem described him with, or used this word Vayikra. So in deference to that humility that he felt, he wrote the Aleph smaller. Aleph also starts the word Ani, or Anochi, I. So, yeah, Hashem called me, but just little me. What an amazing message it is. Many people would make a mistake and think they've reached a privileged place in this world because of their greatness. Moshe, the greater he became, the more humble he became. Now, there's different explanations for that. But basically, he was a man who was associated completely, totally identified with truthfulness. As we say, Moshe emes v'taraso emes. He's truth. He's honesty. He's straight. And so, what he saw, like those who are very wise and very learned, the more you know, the more you understand that you don't really know. Moshe was so great, and he reached the highest pinnacle of human wisdom and knowledge. He saw how puny mankind is when you think about the big picture, when you think about the Almighty. You can't hold it. It's like a flame in front of the sun. And the closer you get to the sun with that candle flame, the more insignificant it becomes. So it was a signal of Moshe's greatness. Now, what does that have to do with our young couples that we're dealing with tonight? Baruch Hashem, the married couple, the ones with a lot of experience. We got Yossi and Dasi. They're the real experienced ones. In fact, they have already invited the young couples to come to them for marital advice. By the way, Nechama and I will be coming to you tomorrow morning. But then we got Rivka and Yona, and they're certainly, well on their way to having a lot of experience together. And God willing, very soon it will be Elia and Chaya's turn. But what I'm trying to tell you is the love should bring a certain level of humility. As my father-in-law said, I'm not sure he coined the phrase originally, but he certainly used it effectively. It's not so much the me, it's the we. And so the message I'd like to give to the young couples that we're dealing with is to try and put your personal agenda aside to try and work for what's better as for the team. And the advice I give to each of my children is to strive to make your partner happy. And that will pay the biggest dividends. You don't do it to pay dividends, but it will pay those dividends. When you go out of your way, there's almost a contest. Who can do more nice things than the other one? It's going to reward both of you many, many times over, and you'll have a very strong, powerful, and loving marriage. And that's the wish and the bracha that Mommy and I wanted to give to you guys. We already have loaded with nachas, but we're expecting so much.
You already gave them the example. That's the most important thing.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you for adding that. I appreciate that. Yes. So we look forward to many great things from all of you. I wanted to ask my dear brother-in-law, Levi Yitzchak, who came all the way from Crown Heights. Last time we brought the wedding to him, this time we brought him to the wedding, to please share a few words.
The speech is going to be like short. because the rabbi actually had my speech already. Seriously.
That's the bad luck of going after me.
So the rabbi mentioned about this week's parsha is Parshas Vayikra, and the Yud in Parshas Vayikra is a small aleph. The story with the Tzemach Tzedek, which was the third Lubavitcher Rabbi, his name was Menachem Mendel, but he was called by a statement he wrote called the Tzemach Tzedek. His grandfather, the Alter Rebbe, the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, took a lot of personal attention to his education because his mother passed away when he was young. So his grandfather, the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, spent a lot of time making sure that the Tzemach Tzedek had everything he needed. So when it was time to come to Cheder, they brought Tzemach Tzedek with his grandfather, the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe brought Tzemach Tzedek to Cheder. And as a custom in the world, as it says in the Gemara, Ashi mentioned the Gemara that it's a custom to start with Parshas Vayikra. And Rabbi explained the reason why, because it speaks about purity. So the Tzemach Tzedek was, after he finished learning the first part of Vayikra, he asked his grandfather, why did he have a small aleph, which is an anomaly. When anything is different in the Torah, there's a reason for it. And the reason, so the other didn't give an answer right away, he thought, and he says, because Adam Arisha, the first human being, was created by God himself, which is an amazing thing. God is, and Adam, his name is Aleph, and in Hebrew Yomim, it has a big Aleph by his name. A big Aleph, not a small Aleph, a big Aleph. And apparently, Adam Rishon was very proud of him being the first person and being created by God. So much so that it says that he was even more knowledgeable than the ministering angels of heaven. So, and this pride that he had caused him to err and eat from the tree of knowledge, which caused a lot of perpetual problems in the world. Now, as I've told you, this was with Adam, and Moshe Rabbeinu was very, very humble, and therefore, even though he had this personal relation with God, and it said there was no other prophet in the history of the world that was as great as a prophet as Moshe, still he was humbled by it because he knew and that the talents he received and were given to him, not that he necessarily earned them, which he may have, but because he has such a high level of his soul, such a high level, he acquired these talents kind of in gift from God. So he said to himself, if someone else got the same gifts, then possibly he'd be greater than me. So who am I to say that I'm great? I just used my natural talents. Where Adam, where he also had these natural talents, kind of looked at him as himself. I have these great talents. And that's what the Alter was trying to explain to his grandson. He could have said an answer, it's a small aleph, because Moshe was humble, and therefore a small aleph to show that he was humble. But he contrasted with Adam to say, there's a lesson to be learned besides just being humble. But you have to know that your talents come from somewhere. And, your soul gives you those talents, and you get them from your parents, and which we know both the chastin and the kala, this kala, both have very talented parents. I don't know the other side of parents. That chastin and that kala, okay? They both have very talented parents, same parents, which you know, and they have to know where their talents come from and be humble at that, and use those talents to complement each other and bring influence to surroundings and create the surroundings to be a place for the Shekhinah to rest and bring the ultimate redemption to Shekhinah.
Amen. I wanted to do one other thing. Hakaras HaTov, acknowledging good, is an essential part of who we are. It was very, very kind of Haskell and Brenda to open their home up tonight. The shul has been so used. Thank God. I mean, that's why we built it, right? To have simchas and so on. Thank God. But we needed to do it somewhere off. And after all, I'm not allowed to. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Haskell and Brenda. She's getting out her meat cleaver for you. No, for opening your home and hosting us this evening. Haskell, would you be willing to offer a toast to the couples for me? To the couples? Haskell, would you offer a toast?
Oh, what? Toast.
I would like to say a sign with you.
Oh,
okay. Would you wish?
Hey everybody,
Hi.
say something.
Thank you for the help. Mazel tov to the couple.
Mazel tov to everybody
Mazel tov, Rivka and Yona, and Elia and Chaya.
and the whole world.
Amen.
You guys want food?
I'm just going to grab a
Cheers.
plate.
Cheers.
Chaya. And then I guess we left. Oh, I like the short
What do you
ones.
say? There you go.